Hey, what's up, podcast family, Bible story lover? I hope you're doing good today. It's been such a great season so far on the Telling Bible Stories podcast. We are fast getting to the end of the first season. The next season is going to be so exciting. I'm going to make a twist to the way the stories are being told. I bet you're going to love it. But hey, we have this lovely story that is bringing us to the wrap of the first season. But just before I share the story, there is a special episode of the podcast that I will be sharing next week. That episode will have to do with you. Yes, I said it's you. So basically, I would like you to record a voice note and send it to me, sharing with me your feedback about the podcast. Tell me how the Telling Bible Stories podcast has impacted you positively. Just record a voice note and send it to me via email, thegreattola@gmail.com. The email again is thegreattola@gmail.com. I am going to add all our voice notes and just put it together in one special, happy, jolly, great episode that is going to come next week. So hey guys, please make sure you do that again. Just tell me how the Telling Bible Stories podcast has impacted you. Record a voice note, send it to me via email, thegreattola@gmail.com. I'm looking forward to reading your email. Please send that to me. I would love you to do a voice note, but if you can't do that, the least you can do is just type it, just send me an email, and I'm going to read it on the next Telling Bible Stories podcast. All right? So that said, let's delve straight into this episode, which is titled Guns and Guitars, a story about David and Saul, a murder attempt, and preservation by purpose. Let's do this.
Welcome to the Telling Bible Stories podcast. Experience the Bible come alive as we unravel its beauty using today's language.
And now, your storyteller, TOLA Omoniyi.
Saul was the first head of state the nation of Israel was ever going to have. They actually asked for it, so it was more like they stepped into a democratic system of governance. Before now, they were being led directly by God through his servant, Pastor Samuel. However, he had not been leading satisfactorily. Saul. He had been taking some laws into his hands, so God decided to choose another person to lead them. But since it was now a democratic system, Saul had to do his full term. Now, the other person that God had chosen was a young boy by the name David. And now, Pastor Samuel had been sent to his house to anoint him ahead. Saul had disobeyed God's instructions, and so afterwards, he had been experiencing acute migraines, depression, mood swings, and terrible mental health issues, which was becoming a major concern for the entire government. Sometimes you would just have him scream and shout, and he would just start wailing and screaming for nothing. So one of the staff made a suggestion. Sir, your health situation is actually getting out of hand. Can we look for a very good musician who is not only talented but also anointed, so that whenever you start feeling like this, he can just perform and play you some music that will make you feel better? Do whatever you think you want to do. Just get me somebody. Get me somebody if you think that's gonna work. Now, while this conversation was ongoing, another staff member said, I think I know somebody. One of my friends, his name is JC. He actually has a son who's a great musician, and besides the fact that he's a great musician, he also has some good military potentials. I think he will be a great one. I can call him if you say that's okay. So they put a call through to JC, who was in his house in Bethlehem. Hey JC, it's me, Frank. I'm actually at the government house right now. I will need your son. What's the name of that your son again? Oh, which of my sons? The one who plays the guitar. Oh, you mean David? Yeah, that one, David. I need him to come to the government house to perform for General Saul. Okay, he's actually not at home right now, as he's at one of my stores, taking care of one of my businesses. But I can call him to come and head over to the government house immediately. On getting there, General Saul was in such a mood. He was totally out of control. The moment he saw David, he looked at him.
Are you the guitar guy? What's your name?
My name is David.
Okay, so sit down right there and play me some music.
So David unpacked his guitar and started strumming, playing and singing along, playing the guitar. As he kept playing and singing, the headache that Saul was experiencing started to relieve him. He started feeling better, feeling more relaxed. The more David played, the better he felt. And before anybody knew it, he fell asleep. David was asked to stay because they needed him to perform whatever this magic was every time Saul fell into depression. By the time Saul woke up, he looked around. What happened to me? I feel a lot better. He looked at David. Thank you so much. I like you. You're a great guy, and you are very anointed. I would like you to work with me. So he put a direct call through to Jesse and told him he would like David to be one of his assistants and also to play music for him at the palace. Of course, Jesse agreed. Afterwards, David started going home only during weekends. Now, during one of the weekends, he got home and his dad sent him to the war front to deliver some food to his brothers who were on military assignment. On getting there, the entire story changed. David actually saved the day in a very, very miraculous way. He actually did win the battle for the army. Now, that story for another day. I probably will give you the full details of that in a later story. Now, the ripple effect of this victory that David had was that he gained a lot of popularity and a lot of love, but also a lot of jealousy and hate from his boss, Saul, and he was not even aware about it. On this fateful day, King Saul was in a very terrible state of mind. And as usual, David was playing his guitar and singing. He had no idea that Saul was scheming on how to shoot him down. He had a pistol right beside him. With his eyes closed, strumming the guitar and singing melodiously, just all caught up in the music, suddenly the plectrum of his guitar fell to the ground. Simultaneously, King Saul had just pulled the trigger as David bent to pick the plectrum. He looked up in shock at King Saul. Is everything okay, boss? People rushed in from the palace after hearing the loud noise of the gunshot. What exactly happened? What happened? What happened? King Saul looked around, and because he knew that everybody could see that this was an attempted murder of David, he blamed the experience on hallucination. He said he was having a dream and he saw someone trying to kill him, and so he just pulled the trigger. The chief of staff said, I think you should just go home right now. But David insisted that this is even when Saul needs him the most, because he seemed to be in a critical situation. So he continued playing and strumming his guitar and singing. Everything went back to normal. Or maybe we should say he thought so, because a few moments after, David had the feeling that his guitar was slightly distuned, and so he bent to tune it. But then he heard a loud noise, the sound of the bullet hitting the glass right on top of him, shattering down. That was God saving David a second time from the gun of Saul. And that's our story for today. A story that talks about destiny and a man who had the heart of God. Quite a number of things to learn from this story, but let's start off with this: the power in music. The power in music cannot be overemphasized. To think that David just strumming his guitar and singing could drive out an evil spirit that was upon Saul is just remarkable. It is also a pointer that when you're going through certain issues in life, even when it has to do with your health, you should consider consuming good music, quality worship music. anointed music, which actually has the potential, the capacity to breathe life into you. And that's why I recommend you listen to Praise World Radio, a 24-hour internet-based radio station, praiseworldradio.com, where you can listen to songs and anointed presenters just share with you great, amazing content that can actually lift your spirit, your soul, and your body. Now, when the anointing of God is upon a man, he will always be protected. And when you are walking in purpose, you are guaranteed of long life. You are guaranteed of protection. Now, David had been anointed to be the king of Israel. David, at the point of ministering to Saul with music, was actually walking in purpose. And because of that, nobody could take his life. And that's why God protected him so precisely that the gun of Saul could not stop the glory of God on David. For details of this story, do check it out yourself in 1 Samuel chapter 16, 17, and 18. And don't forget to subscribe to the Telling Bible Stories podcast on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, TuneIn, Spotify, Deezer. We are everywhere right now, so make sure you do that. And here is another reminder. Next episode is going to be special. I am taking entries from all my lovely podcast family, sharing with me how the Telling Bible Stories podcast has been of positive impact to you. Let's make it really special. Record a voice note or simply just type it if you can send a voice note and send to thegreattola@gmail.com. That is thegreattola@gmail.com. I will be looking forward to reading your emails. Till I catch you on the next Bible story, God bless you.
Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed every bit of today's Telling Bible Stories with Tola. Do remember to subscribe and share with your friends.